Howdy y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Kfierce IRL, where I'm turning my abandoned family land into my future homestead. And in today's video, my parents are coming and they're gonna help me chop some of these trees, like these right here and maybe this one and quite a few of these trees. So let's wait for them to arrive, shall we? So, as you see, my parents have arrived, and Dad pretty much just grabbed the chainsaw and was immediately like, okay, what do you need done? So, he just went ahead and just started chopping, and while Mom got her chainsaw out too, because, you know, what couple doesn't have a set of chainsaws, right? But nah, I mean, to be honest, they've been chopping trees for at least the last 40 years. I know we had a wood stove growing up, and they would go over to other people's places, and they'd chop their trees down a lot of times for free, as long as they got to keep all the wood. So they'd chop it up, throw it in the back of the truck, and load it back into our place, and then we'd have firewood all winter to stay warm. In which that's what a lot of this wood's going to be. A lot of it's going to eventually be cleaned up, put aside, and is going to be turned into firewood for me for next year for my wood stove. So keeping the tradition alive. But a lot of it is just me kind of just staying out of the way, letting them do their thing while they get everything cleared out. And you know what? I'm cool with that. I'm not a professional tree chopper, but I did I did observe a few things and tried to dodge some of the trees the best I could, but I had a good time hanging out with my parents too, and having them be a part of, fixing all of this up. Because these trees sadly had to go, because this is where, oh look, there's me actually participating. At this point in time, I wasn't going to be in the way, so I was like, let me go ahead and move some of these branches and get them out of the way and start to get it a little bit cleaned up now, so more I do now, the less I have to do later. That's kind of like my idea. So he's over here starting to clean up some of the stuff that they already cut down so they can make room to get to probably the next tree. But, this whole area I needed to get cleaned up, and I'm going to continue to get it cleaned up because this is where hopefully my future garden's going to be going. So that's going to, or at least the garden this year, it's going to be the temporary garden. I eventually want that to be the backyard for the house when I eventually get the house rebuilt or a new house put on there or whatever I do. This will eventually be the backyard, but for now, it's a great garden space, so I was like, these trees are really going to be bothering my garden space there, plus they were actually blocking a lot of my solar panels, and some of these white pine trees get to be really big. I mean, you kind of see those in the background. Those are really far away, and they are humongous. So, and these poplars get really tall too, and we're right here by the power lines, and so a lot of these trees I was like, I really want to get rid of, but I don't want them to hit the power lines. So, thankfully, Dad knew what to do to make sure that none of them, hit the lines. But this is where I'm primarily planning on growing a lot of my food for next year that I'm going to be living off of, as well as hopefully some cotton and some flax. I'm definitely interested in trying to grow my own fiber, as my dream is to make this place into my own fiber farm. So, I definitely want to try growing that as early as possible to start practicing. But as I said, we're just over here just making sure, getting all of this land cleaned out, and I'm trying to find good spots. Like, I'm like, okay, a tree gonna fall this way, and then next thing I know, Dad's like, nope, you gotta move, you're gonna get hit. And I'm like, okay, because he knows he just knows exactly how a tree's gonna fall. He can just look at it and be like, it's gonna fall that way. Or he'll look at it and he'll be like, if I do this, I can make it fall this way. But that just comes with experience, when you've been doing this for 40 years, you tend to, pick up a thing or two. So that's why when they were like, hey, we're going to come up here and help you get rid of some of these trees. I'm like, yes, thank you, you know, because like I don't mind having trees. In fact, a lot of these trees up here will be getting removed, but I plan to plant new ones and grow new ones, you know, and, you know, maybe more beneficial. I'd love to have me a few more fruit trees up here. There are some delicious apples I'd love to get going up here, you know, that grow up here. But, all of these over here are just pine or poplars. And I don't mind the poplars, but, you know, there's just other trees I'd rather have growing on the property, you know, so I was like, well, these got to go. And also making sure that none of them hit the old house structure either. I'm still trying to keep the back of the house, the front of the house structure together, just in case there's a way I can fix it. So I'm like trying to make sure, you know, they weren't going to hit the house either with a lot of these trees. Because that's the thing about poplars, they grow tall. And to have tall trees so close to the house, I feel, or where the house will be, I feel like would be super bad in case, you know, one does fall. Plus, as I said, it's right near power lines. So let me get, you know, trees that are a bit smaller. This one took root at first. Dad at first wasn't going to even cut this one, but he was like, you know what? I can get it. So, because that one actually we were going to leave because he was like, nah, no matter what we do, it's going to fall onto the power lines. But, you know, with everybody's strength together and me behind the camera, it came together. You know, but it's fine. I'll be doing my fair share of the work, cleaning all this up. As you can see, there's going to be a lot of work to do. Here at the end, I'll give you a full aftermath of the video. Of the aftermath of all of this from the video, but yeah, so until there we go. And then Dad's just gonna chop this one up into a bunch smaller pieces. All the trees now are down that, you know, that we wanted to get down, or that he had time for. So he decided to cut up a lot of these into smaller pieces for me, just to save me, because I don't have a chainsaw yet. I'm working on saving up for one, but you know, there are just other things, you know, I gotta get going right now first, so. And since I got family with chainsaws, you know, might as well take advantage of what I got, you know? Till I get my own, at least. So, Dad's cleaning all of this up. Alright, so now this is the aftermath of all the work that has been put in. Thankfully, my dad is like a professional tree chopper, and he got these down no problem. I was afraid some of them was going to hit the power lines, but you know what? He was good, so. Now, over the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a lot of cleanup. There's a lot of brush, a lot of firewood I got to set up to season for next year. And hopefully I'll start cleaning this out to be able to put in a garden here next year. But as anything, thank you guys for hanging out with me in today's video. And you guys know I'm going to keep you updated with more videos as things go on. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy all of this. And don't forget to like the video and share this with your friends. Like, I'm trying to hit 500 subscribers, so everybody really helps and I really appreciate it. But thank you guys for hanging out with me in today's video. I'm going to see you guys later. Bye!